Corey, Utah's Vape Guy here. I am with Salt Lake City Magazine, and we are on the green scene, and we're talking with Rocky Mountain Hemp today. Today I have Bobby here, the lead chemist at Rocky Mountain Hemp. How are you doing today, buddy?
Doing great, man. Glad to be here.
Well, actually, I'm glad to be here. This is a nice shop you guys have here. You guys are located at 4902 South State, right?
Correct, yep, in Murray.
So if you guys are coming down almost onto 50th and State, you're going to see the biggest, greenest, sign you're ever going to see that says Rocky Mountain Hemp on it. Like, it is easy to find right off of the street. What do you guys have going on over here anyways?
Well, we're CBD primarily, so we have, tinctures and balms and lotion, just anything to help with, pain, anxiety, insomnia. We're just trying to do whatever we can to help people, get the effects that they want with none of the, detriments.
So you guys kind of cover all of the different, I guess, no pun intended, but all the full spectrum of everything. Right. Yeah, I went there, guys. I'm sorry. So when it comes down to it, what is a commonplace product that you guys are seeing coming off your shelves? In today's times, obviously, I know anxiety is probably a big deal, those types of things. What's one of the more popular products you guys have?
I mean, definitely our tinctures. We get a lot of people coming in looking for tinctures to help with, just like you said, anxiety is a big one, but also like helping you to sleep or just general pain. So we have our balms, and that's for more like a local area. If like your knee hurts specifically, you can take a tincture and that will help, but then you can apply the balm directly to the place of pain, and that helps too. So you get like a compounding effect.
Kind of a dual action thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now with the different tinctures and balms, now I've heard of the different term isolate versus distillate. Do you guys deal with both of those, or can you explain what that is exactly?
Well, we deal mostly with distillate. So the differences there are a distillate is you can think of it in terms of you are distilling the essence of the hemp plant, right? Because this has all come from industrial hemp. So that means you still keep most of the properties of that oil, right? Mm-hmm. And isolate means you're isolating something specifically. In this case, CBD. Gotcha. So isolate is just CBD, nothing else, right? The really good ones are 99.99% CBD. Mm-hmm. A distillate, and this is where it comes back to what you said earlier, like a full spectrum, broad spectrum distillate, that has CBD, but then it also has a whole bunch of other minor cannabinoids like CBC, CBDV, CBN, CBG, right? And there's over 100 cannabinoids that we've classified.
Oh,
and
really?
A good full spectrum will have, anywhere from 3 to 7 of those in there, in quantifiable amounts. So that's kind of the big differences there. The distillate has a more broad spectrum of applications because it has all these other minors that can help with all these things. And we've found that, there's research and studies that show that, CBDV helps with anticonvulsant as well as CBD. CBC, helps with seizures, but it's also kind of an antibacterial. So all of these things together are actually what help people feel less anxious, right? That's the CBN with CBD.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, well, you want appetite suppressant. Well, that might be CBDV with CBD, right? So there's all these things, but it comes from the minors is what's actually helping in those areas.
I'm glad that there's people like you on this planet because that seems like way more than I know about. Oh, congratulations there. You just blew my mind. So these are all things, they don't have THC in it. Is that correct?
Well, they have a very small amount. So this is, federally compliant, which means it has to be below 0.3% THC. All of our products are federally compliant. We have COAs, which just stands for Certificate of Analysis, which means we send our product out to a third-party lab, which means we didn't do the testing, somebody else did it, and it tells us what's in it, and then we have all that posted on all our products. There's a QR code on every product.
So you guys aren't selling catnip then?
We're not selling catnip.
No, just kidding.
But it does. I mean, it's important to note that it does. The broad spectrum tinctures and the balm, they do have a little bit of THC in them. It's certainly not enough to get you high. Mm-hmm. But it's important to note that THC is also very helpful with activating your endocannabinoid receptor system too, and that helps with cellular uptake of other cannabinoids. So it's actually helpful to have a little bit of THC in there so that you get the most benefit from
So
the
it's kind
product.
of like the key that opens the door that
Yeah,
lets the CBDs
yeah, kinda, yeah.
in. Okay, that actually makes a lot. That puts a lot of it into perspective for me. Now with all these different products and these different things, are you guys seeing a big upturn since everything went legal for the THC side, or has there been more business for you guys?
I mean, we've seen a slow increase in business. Just I think it's mostly because people are becoming more informed about it, right? More people are hearing about it. They're learning that it doesn't get you high.
Yeah, there's a lot of
CBD is
people.
not THC, right? It's not marijuana. So I think as people are learning those things, that's what's kind of driving more
Oh, that's
popularity.
I'm actually excited to see that you guys have it because I do, and I know there's a lot of people out there that don't want that head high. They don't want a psychoactive effect, but they still want to feel less pain or be able to
Absolutely.
sleep, and so it's really cool to have you guys here. Now, you guys have the products on your shelves. Do you guys have new products that are coming out here soon or anything?
We do. We have a new line that we're releasing that we're kind of gearing towards first responders and people who absolutely cannot have the THC in it, right? For fear of, the drug testing and things like that, where, company policies haven't quite caught up to, it's a federally legal product, but sometimes there's been cases where people might fail a drug test. So we're developing a new product that's 0.0% THC. It's clean. So first responders, firemen, policemen, they can use it and get those benefits and not have the fear of ever being, subjected to the THC side.
So here's the big question: just because Salt Lake City, we're always trying to get the exclusive. Are you gonna let us go back and will you show us how it works?
Yeah, we can show you. We do all of our formulations here. So we have a
Perfect.
formulating lab in the back. We have our hemp processing license. I think it is important to mention that everything we do here, completely above board. We have all of our state licenses in order.
That's
We
so
have
cool.
all of our hemp licenses in order. We are trying very hard to make everything here as legitimate as possible because there's so many bad players out there.
Oh, there
We
are.
need to be an example.
Oh,
right?
and it's amazing that you're trying to be that example because honestly, you guys have nothing but the coolest reputation in my book. I love these
appreciate
guys. I've tried and true. I'm just saying, I love their products. They're way cool. So, all right, I guess here, one scene later, you guys are going to see a cool backstage right now. Utah's Vape Guy, guys, we're right back. I told you one scene later we were going to have some cool stuff. Bobby, how are you doing now? We just got, 20 feet?
Yeah.
I think. Cool. So,
Doing even better because this is where I get excited. This is where I live, right? This is where we do our formulations. This is where we kind of come up with new tinctures and balms and the different things that we're trying to make.
So this is your office,
Yeah,
essentially.
exactly.
Oh, perfect. So what are some of the things that you guys have here? Obviously, I mean, these look like empty bottles, but what's this big jar of, amazing amber-colored whatever?
So this is kind of a test tincture that we're doing. So what we use is coconut MCT oil is our carrier oil in all of our tinctures.
So that's not an oil that you can vape. That's something that goes in, under your tongue or something?
Yeah, it goes under your tongue. I mean, you could vape it. It's
you
not. It is safe to vape.
Oh, okay, cool.
We don't make vapes. We kind of steer clear of that market right now. Just trying to focus on tinctures, balms, and things like that. But yeah, so this is kind of an example of a carrier oil that we would use, and then the distillate is something that we would add to it,
Okay.
and then mix it up, and then add flavorings or things or whatever we want to try and enhance that tincture in different ways, right?
Okay, so you guys can almost flavor it to whatever flavor you guys would want. So, say
Right.
for instance, there's a diesel, like a lemon diesel or something.
Right. Yeah, you could, and there's more and more research coming out talking about terpenes and how those also entourage with cannabinoids. And by entourage, I mean that they work cooperatively together, right? So CBD alone is helpful, right? There's prescriptions that are just CBD that are helpful for seizures. But if you have CBD in conjunction with CBDV, well, now you only need 10% of what you would have had to use of CBD. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
that does.
instead of 100 milligrams of CBD, you can do it with 10 milligrams of CBD and 2 of CBDV, and you'd still get the same effect, right?
Kind of, yeah. They kind of adding together almost.
Exactly. They're
add up to
cumulative, like
something,
they help each other.
Okay.
So there's some research that kind of supports the idea that terpenes are also playing an effect in that. So now we're kind of playing with the idea of, like you said, adding some of these terpenes to our product to get an even more enhanced output, right? Once again, none of this is things that will get you high or psychoactive in any way.
Yeah.
We're just trying to give people the most therapeutic benefit that we can find in any reputable source. So we're constantly looking for new research. We're constantly looking for things that will guide us in a way to help create medicine, right? Like
whatever helps,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
What is what I just keep looking at this. What's this waxy stuff
So,
right over here?
this guy right here, this is kind of an interesting. So this is CBD. When it's in a high enough concentration in the distillate, it will actually start to crystallize out on its own.
Oh, really?
It's So it starts to crystallize out, and it'll form these kind of funky looking crystals depending on what it was in when it started to form.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just it kind of looks like coral.
Yeah, it does.
But if you kind of feel it, it almost has the same feeling. It's almost sandy.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, and that's because those are just CBD crystals all sticking together.
It's like sandstone almost.
Yeah, yeah. So we just kind of held on to that because we thought it was a cool little thing that happened, right? So now we just
cool.
have it out here as a visual more than anything else. But yeah, so that's, and the reason why it still kind of has this yellowish, brownish hue is there's still other cannabinoids kind of locked up in there and other things. When you get a true CBD isolate, it will be white, powder white.
Really?
Yeah. So when you get something that's been, processed in a lab where you can actually isolate it well, then it's just this fluffy white powder. It's interesting.
Huh. So, I mean, it comes in every shape and or size. It seems like holy crap. That is freaking awesome. Well, I'm super glad to be here. I guess MTV would call this or say this is where all the magic happens. So I'm glad that you let me take a look behind the scenes. Well, cool. Do you guys have anything that you guys want to pitch out to everybody that you want to say?
I mean, I would just say if anyone has any ideas on products that they would like to see. One of the nice things about us is since we do our own formulations in-house, in store, we're always open to finding new ways to help people out. So if someone's like, I don't really like tinctures. I don't know, name a thing, right?
Yeah.
Chewing gum. Okay, well, let's see if we can make a chewing gum for you or something. You know what I mean?
So you guys kind of can do this to order for some people.
It would have to be a large enough order that we can because we would still, obviously, we want to send it out to the labs for testing. We need to make sure everything is compliant.
So in other words, if you have a good enough idea, you might be able to get it into the shop.
Right.
and
yeah, we're always willing to pilot stuff, right?
So if you guys have an idea for cool chewing gum that's CBD, man, talk to them because if it's good enough. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Just saying. All right. Well, cool. Thank you so very much, Bobby.
Thank you.
Honestly, this was amazing, guys. Salt Lake City Magazine. Check us out. March 20th is coming out, and then 4/20 will be the major, big, huge, humongous drop of the magazine. So please stay tuned. I love you guys all. Over. I'm out. Keep it cloudy. Deuces.